Jenna, can you put the closed captioning notes? I did. Thank you. I only. What's your name is Jenna?
All right, all set. All right, call this meeting to order. This is the April 22nd. No, wrong one. May 6th. Yeah, I don't. May 6th, 2026. All right, I'll read it. Are there any public comments?
Yes.
Okay.
Carolyn Shapley, 11 John Carver Road. It should be clear, I'm speaking as an independent resident of Reading, not in my capacity with anything to do with the Council on Aging. I wish simply to remind the Permanent Building Committee that on March 4th, I raised a series of questions about whether or not, given the findings of the independent study of accessibility in the building, the kitchen will in fact be able to fulfill the services that we were promised it would do. As it stands, it suggests that it's not for public use, which one could imagine. It's part of my questions. I'm only using my own judgment, but the PBC promised I'd get an answer whether or not we can in fact lease the kitchen space out, given what we learned about our ADA lack of compliance, and whether or not we can do things like use a full set of volunteers even to serve lunches. And the way it's written in the study, we can't, and I'm concerned, but I'm asking, am I interpreting the study correctly? I was promised by Pat that I would get an answer. It's been 2 months, so I respectfully remind the committee, I'm still waiting for an answer. And I've shared this with the select board as well. It affects the building. It does not just affect operations. And we need to make up our minds, and if we're going to not do what we promised the town needs to be told and told why. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, who are you trying to get?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Karen. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll speak now to a public comment.
Yes.
Karen Herrick, member of the select board, and so I have I'm the liaison to the permanent building committee and council on aging overlap here tonight. I also wanted to, so this is the only meeting of the permanent building committee, and I have asked Jane to look into the refurbishment and replacement of the heating system of this building, so I wanted to let you guys know. You probably, well, I know you know better than I know whether this is the only building that still has like 1990s air gas heating systems, besides maybe the ring. But I've been doing office hours upstairs. When during heating season, every time the heating system comes on, it poofs gas and methane. And I know they've not been able to get anything to come up on a reading. I know people keep calling the fire department because we all smell it. It's giving us staff headaches. I'm not sure if it's enough for the town managers to act on that, or if I should just let you guys know. So I wanted to let you know. The select board has discussed and a survey results generally leads towards keeping this building and get it to pay for itself. So to get it to do that, we need it to be up to date, safe. So there's that. And then I'm still getting lots of concerns, questions from 60+ residents, some members of the Council on Aging, and some just frequent users of this center and to the next one about, you know, wanting more engagement, whether it's another position on this committee or whether it's involvement in the working group that the staff has, because right now operations doesn't have anybody who's regular of the senior center. And like I spent a lot of time on the council build committee, and that's not how that worked. And I think the teachers in the education department is pretty happy, and there's 2 school committee members. So I would love people to be happier and feel like you're getting a voice. And that's it.
You can keep going. Are
there any other?
How do you vote that?
Yeah. Public comments on online. Anybody else who has a public comment?
I
Yes.
do not see any hand raised.
Okay, very good. So we will go on to the review of approval of past meeting minutes. This is for the April 22nd, 2026 meeting. Does anyone have any comments or concerns that need to be changed? I need a motion. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve?
Move to approve the meeting minutes of, go up to the date.
March 31.
March 31, 2026. Yeah.
Second.
Ready for the vote? It's now, I need my cheat sheet up there. I need more discussion. On to the vote. All right, so I'm gonna just.
Oh, sorry.
Not as easy.
I don't have on the list, right?
Get a lot
exactly.
going on, you're like, who's here,
Okay,
who is
all
here?
right, John Coop,
I'm here. Yes, right. Yes.
Mark Doxey,
Yes.
Ari Greenberg. It's not on. Is he on? Ken Rizal, I don't know if he's a member today.
Okay, excellent. For Mike.
For Mike, yeah. Mike.
He's getting a raise too. We gave him a raise. before
That's
he got
right.
here.
Ron Powell,
I'm here, yes.
and that's right, we didn't do a roll
We
call.
did that vote.
Pat Tompkins,
I'm here and, yes.
and Nancy Toomey, I'm here, and yes.
Just to clarify, I said yes, but I'm also here.
And you're here, good, I'm glad you're here too. All right, that motion passes and, yes. Oh, Kirk, I'm sorry, Kirk, I didn't see
Yes.
you up there, Kirk McCormick.
No problem. I am here and yes.
Somebody's here.
Yes.
Oh, look, he said,
I'm
yes,
here.
I am, no, I'm here. So
Great.
Double duty.
how come we can't get them?
All right, on to the next agenda, item. Unless you want to take over, Pat, you can do it better than I can.
I disagree with that, but I'm happy to take over.
Go ahead, take over.
Well, the next item, talk about the project schedule. Turn it over here, turn it down to Erie.
Hey. Good evening, everybody. Thank you.
Why are you sitting so far away from it?
I have an extension cord plugged in.
Okay, all right.
I guess I always sit at this end of the table. It's kind of forced a habit. Well, anyways, thank you. Schedules. So we have two schedules to talk about or to share and present this evening. I'll share first off what we call the OPM's milestone schedule, which is kind of high level, gives you some high points. So on the screen is just some points of information that we extracted, which I'm going to show next is the contractor schedule. So right here, you can see here's where we are right now today, May 5th. Actually today's May 6th, but concrete foundations, and I'll have April jump in it when the time comes to give us some progress updates of actual activity at the project site as well. So, but in any case, they have mobilized the contractor this past month, and they're clearing and grubbing, and they're starting the foundations, as you can see here. And we see some structural steel and wood framing starting up in July, then the concrete slabs as well later on. So that's kind of a 30, 60 day, 90 day look ahead. Again, from the OPM's perspective on that. And of course, we'll continue to update our schedule with highlight points. I'll move down the list here. Here's the contractor's schedule. And we have two of them. We have a critical path schedule and we have a detailed map out schedule. I'm going to say, before I get too deep into it, this schedule sort of just came in recently. Currently, the OPM, our office, and the designers, BH+A, we're both reviewing the schedule in concert with the contractor. And so we're doing some red line comments. And once we agree to the overall format of the schedule in terms of the tasks, the durations, and the dates that all within compliance with the contract, we will sort of say that's the baseline schedule and that's what we will work from. Should there be any claims or issues, we can go back and say, wait a minute, you told us should be done here and so on. So we have yet to establish the baseline schedule, but we will determine that in the next couple of weeks and kind of lock that in. And then on the monthly progress updates, we'll continue to make sure it's still within the baseline parameters. And again, we use that as a reference tool because if by chance, which we hope there isn't, but if there is by chance a claim for additional time or we can fall back to the baseline schedule and see how it was impacted based on the claim and kind of validate if the claim for additional time is warranted or not. So that's why we do it that way. And again, we're gonna establish the baseline schedule in the next couple of weeks. Nonetheless, here is a critical path that was issued on the screen. Again, we're going to turn around and redline this a little bit where it's needed. Our office in concert with the architect's office. These are kind of the critical path line items that the contractor has laid out. And then we get into the next section of the schedule, which is the very detailed schedule, where they break it down by startup, by utilities, by structure, and so on. So far, their dates are pretty good, except we gotta check on their notice to proceed. For example, like here, they have 30 March, it was actually 17 March. So we're gonna correct that date. Then 499 days later is supposed to be the substantial completion date. So those are the kind of things we wanna make sure we lock in, measure them, and then go from there, as we said. So that's more or less, without getting into an extensive amount of discussion on the schedule. So far, it's in line with expected timelines. They've been really mobilized for about 30 days now, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. By the time they actually got on site, established their bearings and their grounding, and they, as you probably saw during the groundbreaking, they've established some tree cutting, some grubbing, some clearing, some site prep. And now they're getting into some excavation of the soils for the foundations and getting the fences up, and I'll let April jump in a little bit on that. If you want to do it now, just why doesn't April give you an update on the construction activities?
So the temporary fence is up. They have been moving a lot of loom out. And it looks like they are going to start digging for footings starting tomorrow. And through all of next week, Monday, the concrete contractor will be there to continue with the footings. And then next week, they are also going to tie into the main water line. We should have temporary power there at the end of this week as well.
That's kind of a umbrella view of activities for now. If there's any particular details, we can.
I just had a quick question about the alternates, the access to range road and the photovoltaic cells and how they fit in to the schedule.
They're built right in. In fact, there was one portion down here where they talked about starting up the photovoltaic system, which I wanted to double check on it. That's one of the red line comments. We wanted to see how it synchronizes in with the actual work activity. Yeah. So that's still going on. I haven't gotten too deep into when the range road work will begin. I could find it and do you know anything?
I believe in conversation with J&J, they were going to try and get a lot of that done before snow flies. I'm not sure if that has changed on the schedule. I haven't gotten to that part on the schedule either, but my understanding from them is to have that stuff pretty much done.
This
Yes.
season, we'll say, before the end of the calendar year, probably, or snow flies, winter conditions.
I can confirm for you.
Yep.
Pickleball's moving right along, right? What's the time frame on pickleball?
So. Everybody must know about pickleball. Pickleball's not on your agenda. But it is,
It's still scheduled, not on our agenda.
I'm just saying, just saying.
Just, I'm
No,
not
it's
talking
moving right
dates, I'm
along.
talking like,
It should be open, thinking by September.
Yeah.
We're going to do, sort of a dedication in, late October, I think.
Yeah.
Want to give it some time, but yeah, it should be, there's a section of work that can't be completed until after July, can't be started or completed until after July, so the contract that be received, so that's, about $300,000.
I mean,
worth, so it can't be just like the fencing or some of that stuff, so.
Yeah.
Site work's done, but a big portion of it has to wait until July, and then it takes a month for the courts to cure, so.
it's probably better for them with a contractor next to them as opposed to a bunch of residents playing pickleball. As they're trying to build their building, build out of it.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Here's one question. Are there any blocking issues that we're aware of at this point? For example, approvals from, have we got the conservation approval most recently? Anything else that's not yet resolved that might impact what we're seeing on the 3069 plan in particular?
Not to be heard, everything's been well coordinated with the town departments. The town has really stepped up and participated in conversations.
Conservation's been out quite a few different times. As far as I know, they're
Yeah,
happy.
Chuck is out there weekly,
Yeah,
and he's fantastic, and he's working with everybody.
yeah, as far as I know, he's happy with, I've heard that that he's not, so.
Yeah, and same with the building department, the building commissioner, in the fire department, so everybody's been good communication with town departments to the contractor and to April and the OPM and the design team, and right back the other way as well, so everything's in good spirits right now.
So there's a building permit or just a foundation permit been issued so far?
Just the foundation.
Just foundation permit.
Is the geotechnical engineer on site?
Friday morning.
Friday.
This Friday?
Yep. I'll meet him this Friday, yep.
So they're gonna start digging foundations tomorrow. We'll be able to look at bottom of footing. They're probably gonna start, I think they're gonna start foundations Monday.
We should kind of get our things in order in terms of the schedule. We don't have a conventional system of foundations, slab and grade. We have a slab and grade is no longer an accepted term by ACIs. They're called ground support slab standards. And the ground support slab is the foundation. So, but if you haven't kind of separated out as if there's two separate, as if the foundation and the slab and grade or ground support slab are separate entities, they're not a single entity, basically, except for the perimeter footings. But the
Okay.
interior footings are slab.
Yeah, okay,
If that's the case, we got away from the deep foundations.
But the slab is thickened in order to carry the load instead of just. It's still an integral part of the slab, it's not a separate. It's an entity.
okay,
So, you know, your timing is kind of wrong here, because you're treating it as two separate items. But they're not two separate items, they're all kind of integral.
okay,
Actually, it's only, not all of it, it's like.
What they tend to do, broad picture from this schedule. They'll be starting foundation shortly. They're gonna start with the steel in the gym. Before the wood frame rest of the wall.
Yes.
That'll start building before. I'll say silent, so they'll start the steel. When the foundations for the gym are complete, but not necessarily the slab. They're showing the slab grade. Or the earth support slab, the turn point is happening after the steel.
That's what you get.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then framing starting like July. It's on, they got a July date, running about 3 months and have the building closed before the winter. And work and finishes like next spring.
If you can bring up anything up the foundation drawings or the first floor slab drawings. Jenna, is that possible?
think I can do that, John? Give me 30
It's a
seconds,
structural first floor, whatever.
give me 30 seconds. I had this ready to go in case somebody had a question. I lucked out.
There was a
Oh,
Yeah.
this is architectural, you want,
You want the
Yeah,
structure?
you want the structure.
yeah,
Yes.
I'll put it down in this. Below the ends. Okay, let me go. Yeah. Whoops. You want the cross sections, John, for example?
Yes, you see section 10, for example.
Section 10.
That is a foundation
No, section 10, that's a foundation for a structural wall. And it is simply a thickening of the floor slab.
A haunch slab,
Yes, on slab.
correct.
So it's not a separate, the ground floor slab is not a separate item from the foundation. The two are integral. Right.
Okay.
Which raises another issue for me, which I can raise now or later on, it doesn't matter. It's about saw cutting those slabs. Maybe we'll wait until we talk about the,
You talking about the control joints?
I'm talking about control units. There is no item in your submittals for submitting shop drawing for control units. Now, since this is not a conventional or the slab, typical 5-inch thick slab, which does nothing more than to keep people's feet off the dirt. This is a structural slab. It needs, the location of the control joints needs to be very carefully coordinated with the structural engineer.
I
There
agree.
needs to be a little of a control joint, the layout, location plan, submitted to Foley Review
Correct.
for approval. That's not included in your submittal list. It is,
Okay, yeah, but I know we I know we talk about that when the time comes, but thank you for that reminder, but yes.
because this is a different building from the normal building. In this location.
Okay.
So their approach is they're probably gonna start the foundations at the gym.
Yep.
Work their way across. They start steel, quarterly schedule on July 1st in the gym. Meanwhile, simultaneously, they're working slab on grade in the community center, the conventional wood frame, and then slab on grade finishes. I think it's on the end of July.
27 July.
Yeah, 27 July, 28 July, when wood framing starts, and the slab on grade in the gym continues on past that. So, they're sequencing it. Wow.
Yeah, I highlighted some of those topics there, the start activity and then some of the start dates. Okay. So, sure, that's kind of the schedule, and we're still, redlining it, if you will, and we'll get it tuned up, get the baseline established. So from there. We can certainly come back to more schedule questions if you want, but
Overall, without spending a ton of time, it's a fairly well detailed and reasonably well thought out schedule.
we thought so as well at first glance. So, agreed. I guess if you want me, I'll keep going. That's okay. I'll turn down to the next item, which is the budget. Let me just scroll down 1 second. So the budget, same format as you've seen. I have some updates and I highlighted in yellow, and I'll just show you what they are. But it's basically updated to include the invoices that are being submitted, along with some, I'll say, change orders for the elevator that we have for the contractor, and an amendment to the designer's contract for the geotechnical services, which I'll show also, which we'll also get to in the agenda. So here's the agenda, the budget. Dun-dun-dun. What happened to my highlights? Okay, anyways. I'll just, let me do this. Something happened to my highlights. They're not highlighted anymore. let me highlight it here right now. Sorry about that. Here's one of the amendments that, no, that's not it. I'm sorry. It's down here. It's small font. Sorry about that. This is one of them. This is the geotechnical services, which we'll talk about later in the thing, added to the budget, which shows some cost services that's under the design team for the GSI company to do the geotechnical on-site construction administration, which April mentioned will be there on Friday to start and look at the bottom of the soils conditions. Just as a clarification, that is not related to the UTS materials testing and inspections. Two different entities doing two different services. And we can talk about that also, just if there's any clarification. So there's that there. I also put into the, to the budget here, I added in, let me just do the construction contract stuff here. I'll highlight that. So, there's the J&J requisition that's being submitted. There's a change order for $76,997.13, which is the added cost for the Delta Beckwith elevator bid that we discussed previously. And you can see here, down here, under category 500, 200, as you look at this later, I took that additional money, the 76,000, out of the construction contingency, just as a tracking method, as opposed to the owner's contingency. So I consider it construction related. So all the math is there. So if you guys see this later on, when I send the final report in, if you see something that looks mysterious, let me know. But I think it's all there. My fingers are crossed, but certainly open to comment.
Peter, did you send this in the package to us, or is this a recent?
I did, on, over, just before, I think it was Friday or Saturday, but this has been updated a little bit, since then. This just kind of did some edits, just.
Yeah, it's not on my package.
Yeah, I think I don't think I included the change order one on it. I realized we also had a little document, adjustment with the change order between ourselves, J&J, BH plus A.
It's
So,
placeholder for change order.
Right.
That's not felt.
right. But when I clean this up after tonight's meeting and everything's finalized, you'll get a fresh package with all the updated edits in it as the quote final version. So that's kind of what we're doing with the tracking of the monies when it comes to change orders and amendments. Just one other thing, speaking of owner's contingency. What did I do here? Okay, that additional services that we approved last month for the $1,980 for the design team to do that survey, that was not in the budget anywhere. So I took that, as you can see here, as you map this out, I took the $1,980 out of owner's contingency, which lowered it by $1,980. And row 262, kind of doing like a budget, I moved it up to category 300, 800 additional services. Again, if you're trying to find where the monies are shifted, I try to leave breadcrumbs around so you can follow them and know where to go. If you like a different strategy, let me know and I can certainly edit it. But everything's still intact. And here's just the bottom line of some of the numbers here on row 270. The overall budget, 80% has been committed, 20% uncommitted, 7% with all the invoices as of tonight, being I was saying approved, 73% remaining. That's the budget.
Peter, with the changes you're making that way, are you gonna kind of create an end note system also so that, for example, that one that you moved up to the 308, there'll be an end note at the bottom that said orange contingency increased by this, basically the note you have sitting right there as an end note at the end, because that's gonna disappear, right?
Nope, that'll stay there.
It'll say that.
I'm gonna keep them all
So
there.
it's in place. It's
And
in
just
place.
as an example, I'll go back up to 300, 800. You can see right here, from,
Got it. Stays in line.
just so it goes up and down, so to speak. That's the way my brain works sometimes, so.
But now,
So, okay, sorry about that. That's the budget, that's the schedule. We can now move on if you'd like. If there's any questions on those two items, we can always fall back to them again. If you don't mind, we'll jump into just some project updates. I'll turn it over to April again, if there's any other construction updates that you spoke about earlier.
No, the fence will be, the fence is all in, the job trailers are there, we'll have temp power hopefully the end of this week and just move and loom right now is really what it is. It's a lot of trucking right now.
We'll know more when the geotech's there Friday.
Yes,
But generally speaking, material out there looks good.
yes.
Do you know if they intend to use the on-site material? We use it on site for various purposes, maybe structural fill.
So the hope was to maybe do that, but we definitely have to check with the geotech and make sure that that is, you know, that it's up to snuff to be able to do that. So if they can, they will, but if not, then they won't.
A couple of those soil samples have been sent to the laboratory for Proctor and Sieve analysis.
Okay. So UTS is there.
Yes, so we're
Yes.
doing that so the geotech engineer can evaluate and make a determination.
No, but it looked like. It looked like there was a lot of, she got house lit alone.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of, and some other things, looked like a lot of good material.
Yes.
So. Fingers crossed, won't be any issues. Okay, that's great, foundations.
So I'll just give a quick update on the materials testing and inspectional services. The last time we met, we allocated $40,000 for that line item out of the 70,000. And we were down to the final evaluation of the 3 firms. In the end, we made a recommendation and shared it with the financial working group, and we came to a conclusion to use UTS as the materials testing inspectional services company based on a variety of things. So it was a competitive proposal system method. Yeah, we had 7 overall, 7 proposals. We shortlisted it to 3. We did another evaluation qualification sort of process, and UTS, I guess, was recommended. They're moving forward. They've been on site assisting, as we mentioned a minute ago, with soils testing at the laboratory and also working and coordinating with April and J&J contractors. Everything's in place.
We were able to work out a situation where they would come and inspect steel and concrete.
Yes,
Single uses as opposed to sending 2 separate technicians out.
exactly. That was one of the questions back and forth was if there's going to be a time and point when construction activity on site requires 3 disciplines, so to speak, say a soils person to do soils compaction, a reinforcing steel inspector to check formwork, then while they're pouring concrete, a concrete testing individual. In speaking with UTS, that's exactly what we had. One of the criteria is, can you send a technician, quote, all day at one rate as opposed to 3 different people at half-day rates? And the answer is yes. So they have staffing technicians that can do all 3, kind of work the shift, work the ground, work the day, and blend it all into one. So yeah, exactly. It's a cost-effective, efficient method, and it works for everybody, for them and for the project.
Right down the street.
And they're
Yes.
5 miles away, which is very helpful. Commissioning services, still on the list to do. Looking to do that this month. Hopefully come back to you guys no later than June with the thought process on that. I can turn it over now if BH+A, who's, I think Colin is on the call. If he has any updates with respect to any designer activities that his office would like to speak about.
Yeah, I can give you a quick update of our activities for the last few weeks. We've been busy.
Hello, Colin. I see you.
Hi, sorry, I'm. Oh, can you not hear me?
Hold on. Hold on,
Our
Carl.
volume isn't?
Our volume is, their volume is.
And I hear you.
How about now?
I think, Zoom can hear her. But we can't. Because we're seeing your words come up, Colin.
I
Subtitles?
am
You should
logged
see the
in
subtitles.
twice.
Okay, I can read what you're saying.
Colin, I'm on Zoom and I
It's
can
not
hear
because
you.
you're logged in twice, Colin.
All right.
It's
Well,
because, we don't know why, but we couldn't hear Kirk earlier either.
Yeah, I can hear Colin, I can hear you. I don't know if anybody can hear me. I'm not sure what the issue is.
All right. I guess they can't hear us at Pleasant Street.
See what you're saying though, so there's that.
Where?
Okay. Well, I will keep it extra short then. I've been busy
Extra short. Okay,
reviewing
he's gonna keep it
submittals.
extra short.
I've spent the last couple weeks.
Something's happening, Colin. Keep talking.
It's on
All
Peter's
right.
computer.
Just making sure.
Peter's is your fault.
Yeah, you'll echo them.
Is
No,
it?
You have it Xed out. Do your little sound thing is like.
That's the only way we're gonna do it, yeah.
Testing, testing.
Turn it all the way up. All right. You only have it on your.
Yeah, you have to be on mute, otherwise it's gonna echo.
Just mute. No, not that, your microphone.
Me?
Yeah, you're good.
All right.
You what?
Colin, can we hear you?
Can you hear me now?
No.
Nope.
Cannot.
No. Peter, yeah, you crossed him out again. On your sound, you have to turn your sound on. You have to
No.
mute yourself.
No, he can't, because he's gonna, yeah, he's gonna echo. So we're not gonna be able to get sound from Zoom, unfortunately. But if we wanna read on the closed captions, his update, we can do that.
I call, if you can just give us a brief update, we'll read your closed captions.
Yes, a very brief update. I have reviewed to date 72 submittals, so we are well into that process, mainly focused on long lead items, HVAC, electrical equipment, that type of thing, and submittals focusing on short-term activities. Concrete, rebar, steel fabrication, shop drawings, a lot of civil submittals have been reviewed. And that's really it so far. It's been very busy, especially now that foundation work is underway.
Have you received a fair number of RFIs from the contractor?
I have received 22 so far. No big surprises. Nothing to cause any concern. Mainly just clarifications and the usual types of coordination things that come up.
Do you know if they've started the MEP coordination process?
They have.
Did I hear an answer for that? I think someone else answered.
Yeah, April answered.
Sorry, Colin, I ask that question of them every day.
All right, so you have the info.
Thank you, Colin.
Thank you. And any other designer updates or questions or comments?
No, nothing from BH Plus A. Thank you.
Moving on to the next agenda items. Anyone wanna tell me about the groundbreaking event that I missed?
I missed it too. It was beautiful.
Wonderful, yeah. The hot dogs were great.
Yeah.
I heard something about hot dogs. You know,
Jane
that's just a good hot dog.
Really? Jane did a great
You
job.
might as well be
That was girl.
Thank you, Nancy.
Did, excellent.
It was a nice groundbreaking. I think Turner and Townsend Curie for the provision of beverages. Only appropriate beverages on town property at first thing in the morning. It was started out dreary, but it turned out all right for us, because it wouldn't dare rain on us at all. J&J had everything set up so nicely on site. Facilities department, DPW gave us the sound equipment. DPW gave us the sound equipment, and facilities set up, they set up chairs and carpet, and podium, and the whole, we had power, everything was great. Worked out great.
And Jane bought shots.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And I bought the shovels.
You bought the shovels.
We did a
Put out the spec for the contractor, you buy the shovels?
And you're gonna see that, that invoice will come to you somewhere. I paid the shovels, so you have to reimburse.
What kind of shovels did you get?
I got 8 shovels for $240. I bought, not each, altogether.
Were they engraved?
They were not. I didn't do any of that. I'm gonna reuse them and kill them, because you know what? I'm thrifty like that. But they are Ace hardware shovels. They are red and black. I felt it worked.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
He's gonna work.
No, they're gonna, no, I would never do that. No, we'll get them to the Matera cabin for the community garden or
There you go.
DPW, something like that, so. We can repurpose them, they're $29.99 shovels, something like that. So, but they all looked really nice, lined up in that pile of sand that definitely did not come from the site. There was a sand breaking, and, It was great. We had lots of pictures and groups circled through, took lots of photos on our website. It's on
I thought
Facebook.
the sand actually came from the site.
I think it
I don't know, did it come from the site? So like the beachfront area of the
Okay,
site?
I don't know, they didn't tell me where it came from.
Super, I'll bet that came from the site.
It looks like it came from site.
That's great. And then,
Good
yes,
material.
there was a brunch following.
Yep.
Hot dogs steamed by our
Jimmy.
project manager at J&J. And yeah, there, a lot of people ate them. I was surprised. They were like, you know what, I kind of do want a hot dog now.
Too early.
I was surprised by that.
That's right. And you went down to Empower
I did.
on Haven and got a lot of, beverages from them.
Teas and
Teas, yeah.
coffee and he actually suggested the teas. I was just gonna do coffee, but he's very well known for all of his teas. And I said, okay, pick them out.
No, it was true because people were like, oh, they got this one and that. So anyway, it was an event. It worked out great.
It's good.
Yeah, it was great.
Almost happy.
We also have a couple of abandoned cars on site.
There
Or
are
just
some
off the
abandoned
site.
cars,
Hmm?
just off the site. I don't know what we're gonna do about those cars.
I don't know.
Cause we have two very, very old. I won't say collector's item kind of cars, but they're old antiques in there that are riddled with bullet holes. Because I think
That's what.
a long time ago, some soldiers used them for target practice.
Oh, okay.
A long time ago.
Somebody used it for target practice.
Yeah.
Well, there's a rifle range.
Yes, it's not near the rifle range technically.
No, it's-
It's kind of behind the site.
It is, yeah.
And they're in there.
1950s-ish,
Yeah,
maybe 40s.
the
They're old.
theory, the working theory is that soldier had a car, somebody had a car in the station here, when they went home, kinda pushed the car into the area.
Would be cool if somebody.
They're, so I don't know, but they're there and I don't know if the town wants to keep them there or we want to take them away, but it's not, it's off the technical site, right?
Mhm. It's,
Where is it relative to
Yeah.
the site? You're on the street staring at the site, the building on the right.
It's on the right hand side.
It's on the right.
It's kind of like behind where the
It's-
parking lot
it's
is.
It would be
back
behind the
in the
building.
water, like in the little, yeah,
Yeah.
just on the bed of.
Yeah, it kind of goes down.
Yeah.
Do the path, they're in there doing the path, they can pull it out.
Oh, we can.
When they do
walk
the
it.
path, they could make it a nice planter, I don't know.
Artwork, yeah. On top of it. Sounds
Well,
good.
you have to be careful to do anything because there's probably soil contamination from the.
Yeah, right.
Very possibly, although I'm sure that very responsible owner drained all of the, 100%. I don't know.
So I understand local coordination with Burbank and the range, everything is going very well. I hear.
Yeah, and Burbank has been great to work with, they're doing great, Ed Finuto does a great job. So they're working well, and the contractors on site, they have no issues, everybody's talking. Doing well.
Yes.
So the groundbreaking, everyone's very cordial, everyone's, very friendly, everyone is talking. The contractor, the architect, the owner's project manager, the client. So when we get to the ribbon cutting, if we're all just as chummy as we were on the 16th,
Exactly right.
then we have succeeded.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's our goal.
Yes.
Our goal is to be just as cordial and chummy, and after we get through change orders and anything else that we come across between here and there, then it's a successful project.
Agreed.
Well stated.
And I'm sure we will. Okay, so, anything else on the groundbreaking? Good. You can move on to item 7.
Okay, great. So item 7, project amendments and change orders to the project. I will turn my other screen to where they are. Again, these will be in the report. So the construction change order number 1, whoops, excuse me. Is the J&J for the added cost for the elevated bid amendment, which we all are aware of. So here's the actual change order, cover sheet. And signed by the designer. We got the signature underway with the contractor, then when everything's good and approved, we'll get it on to the owner for signature. And there's just all the backup to it. the letter we wrote. And,
Zoom in on that. The contractor's change order.
yeah, I'm sorry, you want to see that? Did I go back up?
Yeah, I wanna see the markup on
There is no markup
it. Okay.
because, we carried an allowance in there.
Yeah.
You're not allowed it, but we did have the bonding costs.
Got it. I was wondering why that, it was an odd number. That makes sense. Okay.
So any case, so there's that, not to scroll through and make your eyes go crazy here, but I'll, this is all the backup to this, change order. Here's the unit pricing and so on. Signatures and so on. Then we get on to the next one, which is, excuse me, the designer's amendment. We call them amendments for the designer or the OPM and change orders for the contractor. So here's, a draft sheet for approval. This is kind of a sheet we're working on with the procurement office. Itemizing the amendments for the design team. And, I'll highlight this. It's right here, $22,000 set aside for a time spent arrangement for the geotechnical services by GSI. GSI is the designer of record for the design team on the geotechnical services. This was an email from the design, Joel from BH+A talking about that. And there's a proposal. And it's within the budget. We had the $70,000 that we allocated. And I can go back to the budget if you want, but I think I highlighted it earlier. Where did I put that? I put it under testing services, excuse me. There it is.
All of these have been reviewed by the financial working.
They've been sent out, yep. So those are, back to the agenda, excuse me. So those are two contract adjustments for the project, one for the contractor, change order number one, $76,997.13. Then a contract amendment to the design team, BH+A, for geotechnical services during the construction phase on a time spent delivery or a budgeted amount of $22,000.
Yeah, I think we need, motions, two separate motions to approve those. Yeah. And so I'll welcome. I'll welcome a motion.
Move, yeah, okay, move to amend the budget, this is correct. For the elevator bid adjustment in the amount of $76,997.13.
Second. Any discussion? Go to my cheat sheet for the vote. John Coot? Yes. Mark Doxa? Yes. Ari Greenberg? And Ken is voting for Ken Griselle.
Yes.
Kirk McCormick?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me yet, but yes.
Yes. Ron Paul? Yes. Greg Steples not here, Nancy Toomey,
Yes,
Pat Tompkins, yes.
okay, move to adjust the budget for $30,000. Is that right? $22,000. Yeah, go ahead.
Move to adjust the budget to for the change order for the DSI consultant in the amount of $22,000. That's.
Any other discussion?
One question, and I think I know the answer to this. When we had the previous geotechnical engineer on board before this one, remember?
I thought it was always, I might have been before my time. I thought it was always GSI.
No, we had two geotechnical.
Was it Wilcox and Barton?
Yes,
Yeah.
That sound familiar?
yes.
Did they work directly through the town? As opposed to BH+A?
No, it's contracted to BH+.
Oh, they were.
They work through the. I'm wondering whether, what happened to money that may have been in. Saying today, Was that spent or withdrawn?
I'll find out. That was the feasibility study phase.
But I'm wondering whether in their bid or their budget was included for geotechnical services during construction. It's not in the current geotechnical company's budget, but was it in the previous ones? And if so, what happened to that money?
So we can look into, it's most,
I think it was not, but
it may have been budgeted at one point, but it wouldn't have been paid. We would have paid for services done by the prior geotech.
No.
but it might be included in architect's total budget. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'll look at it, but I think I'll say that, typically those types of services are time spent. And you may say you're budgeting 22,000, you're not gonna spend it all, if we only spend 12,000, because you only provided $12,000 worth of services, then it ends there.
Colin suggested that you read Joel's email.
So we paid for that out of recreation, because part of that work was doing the pickleball assessment. And Activities House is the landscape architect of both projects. Just bringing those, yeah, so the recreation paid. Remember this?
Yeah, during the feasibility.
Yeah, during the feasibility stage.
Wait a minute. Joel's email? I'm sorry, I gotta go, I'm way down on my screen. Is that what Joe, Colin suggested?
So
Okay. Here's Joel's email.
Construction testing, that sounds right.
That makes sense to me. I don't know if that answers your question.
well, it makes sense in terms of yeah, yes. I was just wondering whether the previous geotechnical engineer had money included in their contract.
For field service.
For field services.
Good.
I think they probably did not, but I think I know the answer though.
They may have provided a proposal, but never acted on it.
Maybe.
Oh,
But I'll,
based on what Joel's saying there, that was always separated. The field services were always separated.
Sorry.
All right, does anyone else have any questions or comments? Get back to my cheat sheet here. We'll go to a vote. John Coot,
Yes.
Mark Doxer,
Yes.
is Ari here?
No.
No, okay. Ken Grizel,
Yes.
Kirk McCormick,
Yes.
Ron Hall,
Yes.
Nancy Toomey,
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes. Back to the agenda somewhere. I think we're moving on to item 9.
item 8, Mr. Chairman, just okay. It's strictly information,
yeah.
strictly informational, just letting the committee know there's some coordination meetings, but go ahead, Vic. April can maybe a quick mention on the coordination between pickleball court.
Yeah, we did that, the day of groundbreaking. There was many people from here that were a part of it. And then, we basically have decided that we're going to just do any additional coordination on site. So if they need something, or we need to coordinate something, we will do that on site as needed.
And then 8B is just letting everyone know we're having bi-weekly, is it bi-weekly or weekly?
It was gonna start bi-weekly, but we moved to weekly.
We did go to weekly.
Because we are on site and, you know, things are moving quickly, so.
That's just an owner architect contractor meeting every Tuesday.
And I think Joe Huggins comes to that as well,
What time are those on Tuesday?
10.
That's just informational. That's it. Go ahead.
Just backing up to the coordination, and thinking about a schedule, there's a component of this project that is tied to pickleball. Pickleball doesn't have lights without recal.
Right.
You're right, well, they have lights, but the connections are, yeah.
Lights, they don't have power. But that might be something worth asking them to break out, so we can get an understanding, so the town can get an understanding. And I mean, they're obligated to complete that work by substantial completion, but they might have it in their schedule sooner, which will help us coordinate.
Yeah, I think some underground drainage as well. I believe also.
There's some infrastructure that's tied together. And I think people, when just thinking ahead, when pickleball is open, you know, we already talked about this, but the road should try and hone in on when they're gonna build the road. Pickleball's open and the road's not done. People are gonna want to know what's happening and when it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Say it out loud, at some point we'll have to hold that road in front of pickleball will be active and we'll have to shut it down.
Right. Can't they get to it from behind the arena
Go find a way to get to it.
or they're not?
Dangerous.
Like, the thing about pickleball players, for the most part, is they're active, they can walk, we can make them hike up a couple, you know.
That's. Then also any questions or comments on the meetings or coordination?
Once Home gets going, is there any coordination that's gonna be required? Are they planning to stage anything? Can't imagine they're gonna do it on here, which you. No.
No, we're still working, with the parish, basically, for parking, overflow for teachers. And they've gone through the solar process. We've really recently, in the last week, found out that the city activations. So I hope so, like, we'll see the. We'll pay them, I mean.
Right now,
There's no one else.
there's no coordination that's gonna be required. But
No.
other than maybe police license.
Okay.
Anyone else? Any comments or questions? We move on to item 9. One item that I put on the agenda that I want to have a quick discussion that members of the PBC can sort of take under advisement, give some thought to. But we reorganize every year. I think we did it last year in August, so I was kind of loosely planning to reorganize in August of this year. And just to give everyone a little bit of a heads up, to give some thought to if anyone wants to take a position or reorganize the committee. I'm fine, maybe as the chair, that's the style. But I don't think it makes sense for a chair to be the chair of a committee for too long. It's gonna get stagnant, and I think change is a good thing. And if we get to that point and there's a desire for me to continue being the chair, I'd like someone to step up as a vice chair, could be Nancy or not. Nancy's shaking her head no. I think Nancy's fantastic, as maybe she'll be the chair next year. But try to create a system more where there's a chair in place for 2 years and there's a vice chair that works with them for 2 years and then becomes the chair. It's how most committees like this would work. And so I think that makes sense. So I just wanted to put it out there to for everyone to think about. You can have a discussion now or just, it's a few months away. And then the other thing is we have some, we have alternate members, and we have permanent members. I don't know exactly what the mechanism is, but if there's a desire from anyone, I mean, everyone has terms. But if there's a desire to swap some people out, someone that's not a temporary member, an alternate to become a permanent member and vice versa. That might be something that people want to think about and maybe there's a way we can figure it out. Associate, that's the right term. So we have the temporary members, Mark and Ron, and then we have the associate members who don't vote and the permanent members vote. The associates vote when a permanent member is not there in attendance, but there might be a desire for someone like Ari might have a strong desire to have a vote. He's expressed a lot of, and there might be a permanent member that doesn't want to vote. Wants to take a turn, but if there's, and I don't know exactly the mechanism we do that, but just wanted to put out, in general for, continuing to think about, reorganizing and, how we can best structure the committee to be effective.
That's great to ask that now, because right now, the applications are open for committee changes, so perfect, like,
Okay.
that's really all you have to do, and basically to communicate to the town manager's office that that's why these applications are going to get you those.
Yeah.
Then it goes through the volunteer appointment subcommittee and select. They have for free, that's.
Yeah, we're a little bit of an odd duck in that there's.
Committee, right, sorry.
Yeah.
Still gotta go through your committee.
I get, yeah, there's an appointment. The right phrase, is the appointment committee the right phrase? That consists of the select board, school committee and the moderator. But I'm sure there's a mechanism
That's it.
that we can apply if someone
Same.
says, I want to apply to be this. And, so.
Right.
Just a quick food for thought, heads up, few months ahead, let people think about it. And one way or the other, in my mind, one way or the other, come this summer, we need to find someone who will be the chair either then or in a year. So think about that. Okay, moving on to, unless anyone else has any comments or questions on that, move on to 9B. The appropriation for strategic planning, preliminary feasibility assessment for Pleasant Street. Jane, you wanna bring us up to speed on that?
Yeah, so, this is a request to use the budget from the permanent building committee to fund this study. We have engaged Strategy 5 to do, an assessment, so it includes a number of tasks: preliminary research, site and building reconnaissance, market dynamics discussion. So that's sort of a general market assessment that we conducted that looks at various sectors considered to have potential within the adaptive reuse scenario. They're included, but are not limited to cultural arts, food, beverage, specialty, retail, office, residential, entertainment, general commercial. Task force preliminary feasibility assessment, so it's fiscal feasibility, a market feasibility, economic feasibility, financial feasibility. Task 5 is highest and best use opinion. And task 6 will have a technical report. Strategy 5 is charging us $7,500 for this report, and we believe this will help the select board make a decision with the surveys that we've done and everything else. 7,500, did I say million? Did I say million?
It's weird.
I don't think so. I think you said 7,500.
It's, the drugs are wearing off.
At the point,
Right, 7,500, 7,500. So we think that is more than reasonable feasibility, assessment. To help the select board make their decision as we get ready to procure what we're going to do with this building. Will we sell it? Will we lease it? Before those decisions are made, this assessment will help give more idea, like, do we want to put funds into maintaining the building? As Ms. Herrick said, it's a great question. And, how do we, if we decide we want to use it for certain kinds of things, how do we structure that procurement? Do we want to keep it, or do we sell it and see if the person will, the buyer will, so we're asking the permanent building committee to approve the funding for this. And otherwise it's coming out of the town manager's discretionary fund. I didn't wanna hold it up, so you come out of that fund, but that's not really what that's for. Because it is a public building, we think the permanent building committee's budget is apropos. You have a $50,000 budget annually. You previously approved $15,000 to be used by DNAT for a Matera cabin assessment. That assessment's incomplete. You can bring that assessment before this board as a separate agenda item at a future meeting. When this was ready. And that invoice came in at $13,750. So if you were to approve this expenditure tonight, the remaining funds in your budget would be $28,700.
It sounds reasonable to me. We're charged with inquiries of, all the buildings, it makes sense, and, you know, if it's in. I support it, nothing else, any thoughts?
Who would be doing the study, Jane?
It's a company called Strategy Five.
It's an outside company.
It's a third party.
Being done.
Has Strategy 5 done some other things for the town?
I don't think so. But the gentleman's name is Ernest. Somebody knows his last name. Lineberger. He's been an engineer. So he's done a number of these projects for municipalities with exactly this sort of problem. So.
The beautiful damage.
I say yes. Okay, move to fund $7,500 for a strategic plan and preliminary feasibility assessment funds from the PVC's general fund budget, 50,000.
Yeah, for that helps.
Or 49.
Just to clarify, can I move this?
No, I think it's just
Yeah.
the PVC members, yeah.
Yeah,
So I can't second it.
No,
Yeah.
so John has to second it.
I will second that.
Any discussion or questions? Go to a vote, John Coop.
Yes.
Here, Kirk McCormick.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
That's yes. Okay. Ben Griselle.
Yes.
Nancy Toomey.
Yes.
Chad Malcolm, yes. Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, would you like me to bring forward these particular studies back to this committee for input and review and comment before we take them to select board?
Yes.
And we'll add that to the future, next agenda. Please add the Matera cabin study. And Joe Huggins, is he on? He will.
Yes, I am.
You're on deck for that one, sir.
Yep.
I see, yes, okay, we see, thank you.
If that study's complete, if you could get it out to the permanent building committee
Yeah.
sooner than later.
Yeah, Joe, you can send it later this week. That'd be great tomorrow.
Okay.
So moving on to item 10, the project invoices. Quick question on that, Peter. The J&J invoice says under review, and I don't think it was included, or did I miss it? Because either one of us.
It was not included at the time, because we had just gotten it, and when I sent it out, and we just cleaned it up actually last night and today. And I have it here, it will be included. Let me just,
I think that was the first thing you went over and you were just maybe a little bit late.
not the invoice, so
Oh,
project invoices, here we go. We did ourselves, the OPM and the architect, we went through the J&J contractor scheduler values. We are still finalizing any adjustments to the overall scheduler values, because they want to just make sure that's in balance with the overall project. However, they have been there for a month, and we did go through what they're seeking for early general conditions costs. And it's $404,000 gross minus the 5% retainage, nets out at $384. I can highlight it right here. It's also on the thing. Whoops. Ooh. Right there. It's predominantly the superintendent, project managers, safety officers, getting some general conditions up and running. And then some bond cost as well. So we looked at this, is really, and that's pretty much it. It's,
Can we just zoom in on that first page of detail?
sure, let me just, let me zoom in and move it around a little bit. Let me do this so you can see the column. It's this column right here.
Coordination drawings. Have you done anything at that point?
There have been shop drawings.
And shop drawings are generally a part of the subcontractors. So I'm just wondering about their coordination.
Shop drawings and submittals with some of the submittals that so there was 72, I think, submittals that have been reviewed. And
If they're starting process, then presumably they're working.
That was setting the program section.
I would think that would be setting up the model, probably, I don't know if they do, if they're in coordinator as in-house, or.
You don't say prestige drawings from the architect, so they
Yeah.
can, all right.
so they've been sent over, they've had 2 meetings for coordination thus far.
Puts it at 5%. Completion.
Everything that looks, really good to me.
We thought the same road as well. We are gonna be, again, reviewing the schedule of values for completeness and all that, make sure all the proper files of bid numbers are in there. And they're in balance with the progress of the work, it's properly loaded, not front loaded, so to speak. And we'll have that cleaned up by this time next month. Similar to the baseline schedule. This just came together in the last 5 days, and then we had some edits yesterday and this morning. So I apologize for the lateness, but we found it to be reasonable for the first month, 380,000. It's about 2% of their fee overall. Thought it was fair.
State contractor, what is his part of that?
Where did he go? I don't think he was,
So J&J is self-performing the site.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yep.
That's right, that's right.
How is the fee calculated? You've got a large number of the strange numbers there.
Oh, sorry, I went too far. This number right here, John?
$49,888.88. Must be a percentage of something, right? It's at 5%.
It's 5%.
Okay, 5%. So it goes up for 5%. You see, we can track the fee against the fee.
Yeah,
correct.
It helps. People that are understanding.
So in any case, that's what we came up with thus far, and so I'll go back to the agenda. So we are in concert with the design team, BH+A recommending for approval, the J&J contractor, first requisition for the period April, $384,705. And I'll just keep going just for further recommendations, the 2 BH+A, the normal monthly invoice for the architect and consultants for $33,000 for the contract administration phase, the period April. And then last month, the $1,980 for the site survey services, the billing for that. We also saw that, make a recommendation. Then bid docs did some printing of some documents, and $650. I have all the backup here if you need to look at it. I didn't include it think the only one I did not include was the J&J invoice. I think all the other invoices were included in the original package. I'll just go back to the agenda to see the numbers. I won't say anything about item 5. I'll let somebody else say something, which is the OPM's invoice.
That's too much.
I didn't ask. I'll just say this, item 2 and item 5 are in sync with the cash flow that we've established for the balance of the project. So it'll be like basically a monthly fee, in concert with the cash flow that we submitted to the finance office.
Any questions or comments? Anyone expressing the office of motions?
Move to accept requisition number 1 from J&J Contractors for payment in the amount of $384,705.24 for construction period April 2026.
Second. Any other discussion, questions? We'll go to the vote. John Coop? Yes. Mark Doxer?
Yes.
Ken Griselle? Yes. Kirk McCormick?
Yes.
Yes. Ron Powell?
Yes.
Nancy Toomey?
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes.
Move to accept and pay the invoices from BH plus A numbered 27,958 and 27,959 in the total amount of $34,980 for construction phase April 2026 and survey services.
Second. Any other comments? No, that was a fantastic motion.
Getting better.
We'll go to the vote. John Coop?
Yes.
Mark Doxer?
Yes.
Ken Griselle? Yes. Kirk McCormick?
Yes.
Yes from Kirk. Ron Powell?
Yes.
Nancy Toomey?
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes.
Move to accept the Big Docs invoice number 25-0YKP-2 in the amount of $650 for payment for printing.
Second.
Any comments, discussion? The vote, John Coop? Yes. Mark Doxer?
Yes.
Ken Griselle? Yes. Kirk McCormick?
Yes.
Yes. Kirk. Ron Powell?
Yes.
Nancy Toomey?
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes.
Okay, and finally move to accept for payment Turner and Townsend Theories invoice number PJIN 0047369 in the amount of $41,780 for construction phase April 2026.
Any discussion? Vote, John Coop? Yes. Mark Doxer?
Yes.
Ken Griselle? Yes. Kirk McCormick?
Yes.
Kirk says yes. Ron Powell?
Yes.
Nancy Toomey?
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes. Hold on. Thank you.
It helps, it's all laid out here. Thank you, Peter.
I tested.
Yeah, I do, I think, I don't
Moving on to item 11, other business not reasonably anticipated. I don't think we have anything unless anyone has anything they want to bring up.
Some comments from Alan. When are we going to discuss those? They are valid questions asked about the kitchen. And we need to have a mechanism for this one.
Yeah, we want to put something on the next event. I missed that little comment.
Results of certain basically ADA compliance.
Okay, for the peer review.
Yeah. And whether the kitchen can be rented or not.
Put that on the agenda. Yeah.
Yes. But I think the assessment's been twice. Is it assessment gonna tell us? We're gonna look at the mechanicals.
I think, yeah, it will. We've told them there's, particular issues, because some of the things will, it's an older building, so it's hard, like feasibility, what can be done. And, I think Joe is online. I think the original estimate is like $400,000 we talked about. Is the heating system? Am I making that up?
I mean, so this
pretty-
is,
I think
I mean, I know you guys are busy, so I was like, this is, it's not a good environment with that heating system, it really isn't. And these guys are gonna be doing for another 18 months. And we're likely gonna want new tenants in there, and so. We'll
Affects the feasibility.
So something that green funds and green.
should, especially something that big.
Yeah, so yes and no, right? So our inaugural grant that we have is not enough money for me, so it's going to pay for that and pay for part of that and some kind of process. We can very easily get out of the grant for weatherization projects in our buildings that we have future use. And then that opens us up once we do the weatherization projects, that will be the subsequent.
It's not big processing right now.
Yeah,
And you could do 2 months, you do up to $500,000.
so.
What's the issue with the problems?
So it's been, Joe's dropped off the call. It's a long time problem, the heating system in this building, that it discharges uncombusted fuel or partially combusted fuel. It's a relic of the system, so when it turns on, you do get strong gas odor, particularly on the second floor. Like
It's
you're not
gross,
joking.
it's completely gross, staff that breathing it all in. It's gross.
And we have called the fire department many times. I've talked with the fire chief, they're like, also didn't even smell it, and they come down and they run septic, they never get it next. So, so it's not picking up gas, it's just picking up that, the exhaust smell,
Yeah.
and it's just not.
Yeah, Joe has had people come up from National Grid too.
National Grid, thank you.
Yeah, it's been a long.
Yeah,
That's not
the
bad.
scraps, we have spent, yeah,
Yeah.
so facilities department's done pretty much everything that can be done, a full replacement of this.
And the difficulty is it doesn't make sense to replace it exactly if the building is gonna get sold.
Right.
Someone's
Right.
gonna come in and do
We
a
gotta do a
massive
big one.
remodel. I know the issues with, having to go through another system, but for the town to pay, $400,000 to.
But if it's,
But I'm saying, but if we reuse this and we know what we're going to use it
and
for.
it's green community is reimbursable, it adds to the
Then
value
it's-
of the resale, I mean, it's.
I don't know, if they're gonna
Really
take
taking
the
the
whole
whole-
building and gut it, it may not, is
It's
what
a
I'm saying.
historically preserved building, or,
Yeah, but it's-
They may make it an electric building.
Yeah.
but I mean, we didn't take a vote, but the select board, you've asked us, and we're not trying, I mean, we have a new member, we should ask again.
Well, yeah, once you have the study, then we'll be able to go a little further down that road, but the sense is we wanna hold it on these.
What the next steps will be, that's all my point is that I think you have to wait for the
I mean,
study,
we've already done the survey of the community and survey of the select board, and if you wanna keep it.
but we don't know what its big purpose would be if we do. I mean, it could be that it's more valuable to be rented out to a different organization or to someone else. That's my idea.
Part of it
So
might be
that's
Regardless
what
of what the
requires-
use is, if you completely repurpose this building for new use. Best, you're probably a 50-50 that a new heating system would be part of the
That's
future.
right.
Because it would
Exactly.
probably undergo a fairly significant renovation.
It may put in, well, electric system, and mini splits and something like that, they may do, you don't know. So-
Even if it's a grant, it's still like. Bet a grant that could go somewhere else. If it's something that we're gonna spend money on. But to your point, if we get a better feel for what it might be in the long term.
It's very important for us to keep our eye on the ball, on all the options, so there's.
I mean, this is an actively used building, and this is a can we've been kicking down the road for years, because we were like, first it was like, where's the new recal going, where's the new senior center going, and I don't know, the staff quitting, but, or, being in the hospital, it's just, and the patrons, the clients or whatever. It's just, it's a critical.
It is an unhinged.
Is that a specific call out
Already closed that hearing. I'll talk to Bernie tomorrow, but we've already gone over, figuring all the pieces, all the systems, so I have no doubt about it. But I'll make sure he's aware. He's already toured the building twice.
Second. We will
Oh,
have,
yeah.
we will have agenda item. So, a couple of these things, I don't know. The heating system will be on, that like the kitchen. And some other use.
Marilyn, did we respond adequately to the various suggestions we had about the movable petition in one of the rooms? Do you think we responded to that?
That, Mark Beverly explained us where that stands. It was discussed in the Council on Aging at the last meeting.
I did want to report that we did discuss that at our last council meeting. By a vote of 7-0, the council voted to strongly recommend the partition for the reflection. They asked that the building committee reconsider or look at other options that they're already. We've also been talking to the town with other options, and we have some good dialogue and discussion.
They're
Looking at all options.
right, there's a lot of options being talked about, which is why it wasn't on the agenda. The expectation of my mind would be on, end up on the agenda.
And windows in the gym?
It's not supposed to be a proposal put together by the architect to. We get other possibilities, I see, for this. You gotta do this down on the ground floor, not the door on the second floor. Regular walking track.
Yeah, that's more complicated than simply moving windows, but if you would like to continue that conversation, you can put it on the agenda next month.
It's a structural issue.
It's there's more to it. There's paneling and there's wood paneling, there's gym. Gym wall pads there, so you gotta add, it's more than just moving a window. It'll come with cost, just like everything else. We can talk about it again next month. I'm kind of the mindset, particularly coming from a committee member that had, rules of opportunity to review these documents and make these comments before they went out to bid. It's a little bit of a struggle to start making changes after, but we can look at, there's a few options that have been kicked around. We can talk about them more next month, and we can put it to a hard decision. We wanna direct the designer to make a change, change order from the contractor to do that. We can definitely do that.
One more thing, and we'll keep it brief. I invited this committee that I visited the new retail in January with another former resident. And I didn't know if you had plans to visit it. It's fabulous. And they have a gym, which was full of pickleball players, and the walking track. And it's not the same thing we have, but I was like, oh, I get it. And it was so helpful. And I'll be attending the Council on Aging meeting and asking them if maybe it could be a joint trip down there.
So just quickly, windows in a gym and a walking track have a lot of, Colin could probably describe this better, but there's sort of competing agendas. You don't want a bunch of windows, in a gym. You don't want to be shooting a basketball and have the sun in your eyes. From a HVAC and heating standpoint, it's a big box that you don't want to have a bunch of glass. As a walking track, you do. So there are kind of competing agendas there. So in some ways, like, you don't want more windows there, in some ways you do. Our design professional designed a gym, certain number of windows that they thought was the right number. And there's a few different options. We can move a few things around. That's one of them. We'll have them come back with some information next month. We'll talk about it, but it's not as simple as like the more windows are better. Like, more windows are bad for a gym.
I don't think,
I wasn't suggesting
I
that.
don't think it's a question of door windows. I think that it's just a list of windows.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, look, if you've seen, Newton, Newton is like all glass. It's completely different. There's like a ton of windows up on the walking track. So that's where that's why. And it did start with, the conversation started with more windows.
I reviewed those windows in construction. Or prior to construction,
Yeah,
so like, and we were the OPM on that project,
oh, and the Newton,
on the, the new
Yeah.
town. Right.
yeah, there's a lot of windows,
Right.
in the upper, a lot.
And a lot of stairs.
Screen for.
Windows belong on the top floor, not right. They go, where doesn't need to look out a window. Basically,
Can't be around below, because all solid like regular.
that's what it should be.
Yeah.
We don't have that, we have windows down below.
There are windows up above him, we have one window down below.
There's some windows up above, but there's windows down
No.
below, and some of those are in kind of locations behind backwards on the half of those. So, just. The question was raised before, I don't know that we ever got an answer.
That's good, we can, put on the. Anyone have any other items? Everyone's got the future meeting dates. Is all here, issues there, they're all here. Unless, you hear otherwise. Right, unless there's a conflict.
Just look at gas out, yeah.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
John Coon,
Yes.
Mark Doxon,
Yes.
Ken Gazelle,
Yes.
Kirk McCormick,
Yes.
Paul Levy, yes, Ron Powell,
Yes.
Nancy Toomey.
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes. Thank you all.
So cool.
I was on that project.